Hello and welcome to the Intel Brief. Today is Wednesday, the 29th of April. I'm your host Daniel, and today we're going to talk about Qatar has warned against a frozen conflict in the Gulf. The UAE has quit OPEC in a shock move amid all the energy turmoil, and oil price has jumped up to $110 amid the standoff in the Strait of Hormuz. So firstly, Qatar has warned against the risk of prolonged frozen conflict as the US-Iranian peace talks stall out. The Qatari foreign minister said that he does not want to see tensions rise rapidly and does not want to see a return to hostilities anytime soon, but also do not want to see a frozen conflict that would end up being thawed every time there is a political reason. The White House said it is reviewing Iran's proposal to reopen the Straits of Hormuz, which has been effectively closed for the last 2 months. Negotiations aimed at ending the conflict and restoring full access to the key shipping route have remained inconclusive since the ceasefire took effect on April the 8th. He added that we are keen to see an end to this war that is suitable, that takes into account all of our concerns in the region and beyond. So what? It's likely this is an indirect statement towards Trump, trying to get him to take some kind of deal. Qatar, alongside Kuwait, are likely the hardest hit outside of Iran themselves, as they have no other way of bringing any of their oil out of the Strait of Hormuz, whereas the UAE and Saudi at least have some pipelines they can use. But I think it's unlikely to change the status quo. Trump is not going to get what he wants through making a deal, and Iran are highly unlikely to agree to Trump's demands. So yeah, I think the wait is still on for the Iran's oil pipeline problem to come to a head. And next, the UAE has said it will leave OPEC and OPEC Plus, dealing a major blow to the producer alliance during a global energy shock. State media said the move will be effective from May the 1st, reflects the UAE's long-term strategic and economic priorities as oil markets remain volatile amid the Iran war. So just a bit of background, OPEC and OPEC Plus is a consortium of countries that produce most of the world's oil. They essentially make a deal to not overproduce oil. That way they can keep the price of oil in a price range they like. So no one's flooding the market with stock, and the price isn't driven down to, levels that they can't make enough money off. So yeah, that's what OPEC is. So what? This is a massive move. The UAE has been a member of OPEC Plus for 59 years, I believe, something like that. And one that is likely caused by all the current chaos. It's possibly a sign that the UAE really needed to move some of its oil, possibly due to economic reasons, but also possibly due to storage issues, as I've described with Iran around the amount of storage they have when it comes to oil. The UAE is probably facing a similar issue where they're trying to bring up suitable amounts of oil, but have nowhere to put it, and they have no way to get it out of these storage tanks. So yeah, that's possibly one of the reasons why. They could also be struggling economically, but it also could be a long-term economic move for the country. They could try and boost oil supplies with kind of the reasoning being that countries are moving away from oil, nuclear energy is back on the rise, and they may want to try and, make as much money as they can while the sun's shining, in the hopes that it will help them in the future. These are two possibilities. But anyway, it's going to be a bit of chaos for OPEC. And lastly, the price of Brent crude has risen above $110 for the first time in 3 weeks as the standoff in the Strait of Hormuz continues. There appears to be no clear end to this war, which has now lasted 2 months as the Pakistan-mediated ceasefires has stalled. The Trump administration is currently reviewing a proposal to reopen the Strait of Hormuz from Iran, which would alleviate pressure on energy prices. So what? This is where the rubber meets the road in terms of how this conflict affects the globe. Without a resolution, it's likely the price could continue to rise to levels that we haven't seen in a very long time. And if the cost of oil is high, Trump will likely take a huge hit in the midterms. But as I've said yesterday and in the past, I don't know if Trump will go for this deal. I think he's playing a bit of a game of chicken with Iran to see who will get a better deal. Whether this means he'll go back to a conflict with Iran, it seems unlikely. in my opinion. I don't think he achieved what he wanted to through military pressure, and now he hopes he can get it through negotiation. But it's not really working out for him too well. But anyway, that's been the Intel Brief. I've been your host, Daniel. Make sure to give it a like, a share, subscribe, tell your friends. I really appreciate it. Cheers. See you.